Hello and welcome. My name is Tom Shima. Over the course of 2026, I'm playing the game Persona 3 Reload. Only I'm trying something a little different. I'm going to match the pace of the game. That's right, I'm playing this game one real day at a time. Please enjoy this different take on the game in a series I'm calling Persona a Day. Hello and welcome. My name is Tom Shima, and it's a pleasure to see all of you here again today. Today is Monday, May 4th, start of a new week. So let's start it off strong and have some fun today. Come on in, grab a seat, get something to eat and drink, and just let's make it a good day today. As I've been doing, I'm going to be continuing to play Persona 3 Reload in my Persona a Day series, where I play the game one real day at a time as it corresponds to the in-game calendar. It's really opened up different ways to see the game, experience the game, and think about the game. It's just been very enjoyable so far. I hope you're having fun with it too. So like I like to do, I go over what we did yesterday, just to make sure everybody remembers what we did, to make sure I remember what we did. That way we're all fully informed. We'll come into today's gameplay and see where that takes us. Afterwards, we'll come back together and talk a little bit more about it and see what different connections we can make. And then from there, we'll just see where else the stream gets to go. And I do like to kind of remind people that I have played this game before, but I am not playing it with any sort of guides or recommended strategies or anything like that. And I'm also trying to not let any past knowledge influence any of my choices. I'm trying to take the game totally organically as each day comes and just enjoy the different choices I get to make and see where they take us. So far, it's made for a unique playthrough, and I'm really, really enjoying it. And I just also ask that, we all try to work on making sure that, spoilers are avoided. It's going to kind of happen in the fact that we're playing through the game one day at a time. So as time goes on, the story will be revealed. But I love the story and I love the game. So I really do think this is something that should be experienced in the proper order. So I'm going to stay committed to that and ask that everybody keep doing what you're doing because you've been fantastic so far. So keep it up. You're doing great. All that fun stuff out of the way, let's first look back at Sunday, May 3rd, and then see where we were so we know where we're going. So yesterday was Sunday, May 3rd. There was no school, it was Sunday, but it was also Golden Week. Yesterday was Constitution Memorial Day in Japan, so it was a day of civic-mindedness and observation. So we tried to, keep that in mind as we went through our day, just so it didn't become another day off from school kind of thing. And I love the fact that it, lines up with the real holiday, so we experienced it kind of, right alongside everything. So the day started off early. We woke up and we had remembered that on Sundays there's a home shopping show. And a couple students at school were talking about that the prior day. So we decided to check it out and see what they were offering. It was the show Tanaka's Amazing Commodities. This was our first time watching it. This week he was offering a rose bouquet and some luxury chocolates on offer for the upcoming Mother's Day. And it was kind of some back and forth. I weighed our options. I didn't think we necessarily needed the bouquet or the chocolates. But there was just that part of me that kind of felt drawn to it for whatever reason. I mean, he mentioned Mother's Day is coming, and I don't know, who's to say what I will or won't need in the future. I thought, I had the money on hand. I was just going to take the plunge and bought it. So I placed that order for the rose bouquet and luxury chocolate. So those will be delivered to the dorm sometime here in the future this week. And, I kind of went back and forth after the fact of, was that a good purchase? Was it not a good purchase? But the choice was made. The choice is done. So we've got that to look forward to coming in the mail sometime this week. And so after doing a little bit of TV shopping, I got out and took a walk around town. We'd kind of stopped a couple times to just briefly talk about, my research of the history of the holiday and keep that fresh in our heads. And our walking around took us over to a lot of our usual places to say hi to our regulars. One such place was the Velvet Room again. I had decided to stop in there because I was thinking about spending some time playing the new online game, Innocent Sin Online, that Junpei had given us. We'd met someone in that game named Maya, and we'd established a bond of the Hermit Arcana social link. And I didn't have a Hermit Arcana persona on my person at the time, so you get a little bit more social interaction if you have a corresponding persona with you. So I made my way to the Velvet Room for that reason. And I kind of had to make some tough choices there of fusing a couple persona that I had on hand to make the new Hermit Arcana persona, which I did end up doing. I considered, then repurchasing from the compendium those persona that we had spent. Our pocket money is getting a little light right now, so for now I did not repurchase any personas, and we just had the new one to take back home with us. But from there, I did end up playing the game with Maya for the day, and that seemed like a really good encounter. She'd even mentioned we spent a lot more of the day talking than we did doing anything else in game, which just kind of shows the social side of an online game. At one point, she'd commented, kind of wondering, half jokingly, maybe half seriously, about, what are a couple of us doing, on a nice, beautiful day like this, spending it, cooped up inside playing a game. And I had a couple different dialogue choices I could make. And though the one that kind of stood out to me was, just saying that kind of joking, sunshine is overrated. I didn't want to call either of us out as loners or kind of be, that self-depreciating side of, everything, because I didn't think we were wasting our day. We both seemed to be doing something we liked. And so I was kind of hoping to keep that same mental positivity as I typed that back to her. And she was right there with me. She was like, yeah, we're gamers. We're doing what we like. And it's like, we were. This is how we chose to spend our day. It was something we wanted to do. We had the time to do, and we enjoyed doing. So we both agreed that was a good use of our time, and we enjoyed it. And that actually improved our rank in the Hermit Arcana up to rank 2. So it's nice to just get that little bit of deeper connection with somebody else. So after a fun day of some online gaming, evening rolled around. As I do, I headed back out to see where the day took me. After wandering around for a while and really trying to decide what to do, I'd finally narrowed it down. For the longest time, we'd been focusing on working on our courage until we got up to a new level there and we reached ordinary, which was a big accomplishment. So after that, I'd kind of tried to look more at our academic progress. We'd been considered a slacker, so I wanted to kind of move beyond that a little bit. Maybe something a little better than slacker. So academics had been our focus for the last few days. We'd done such things as go to Wakatsu Kitchen and have the Prodigy platter, a good fish dinner. We went to the arcade and played a quiz game on Saturday, I believe it was. And so yesterday I wanted to do something a little different, but still kind of keep academics in mind, especially since it was revealed that midterm exams are coming up sooner than later. It just felt like all the more reason for us to be academically focused to a degree. And, with funds being a little light, it made it a little more limiting on what we had access to. I'd contemplated just going back to the room and studying by myself, but this is also a holiday break, so I wanted to kind of do something that the character would consider fun. It might not have been the best use of money or whatnot, but from a narrative standpoint, I wanted to just do something that seemed to fit the story. So we ended up going to the Net Cafe. There was an English learning software that, dealt with stories through pictures and such. I picked that up and took that back to the shared computer at the dorm. It kind of sounded almost like a game. Our character's a self-professed gamer. I feel like he's a gamer. He spent the day playing an online game. So this sounded like a win-win situation of getting to work on academics and doing a little bit of studying at the same time. And I also kind of reasoned, beyond what the game said, that I like to think any shared software I pick up is actually shared by everyone else at the dorm. So I spent a not insignificant amount of what I had left on hand, but I also like to think everyone else can use it too. So there was just that little bit of extra utility, I guess, to what I spent the money on. But it felt like we were properly preparing for exams, doing something fun. And best of all, as we used the software, we actually did improve our academic rank. We moved up from slacker to average. So it was just that really tangible, nice sight of our progress and our work paying off. We're average now. We've moved up significantly from slacker to average. It felt so rewarding to see that again, just like it had when courage had leveled up. I'm not quite sure what our next area of focus is. It's hard to want to commit to anything too soon before seeing where the story kind of pulls us. Maybe we'll work on our charm to get everything up to rank 2. Maybe we'll stick with academics a bit more with the exams coming. But we'll just, take that in the moment. So after that, I ended up going to bed feeling like it was a really good, productive day. We made a lot of different progress in a lot of things. We saw people, we did things. And best of all for the character, I think it was a fun day. And that's really what I wanted him to have. So with that catches us up on Sunday, May 3rd. Normally this is the point where I jump over to the game, but kind of like I did yesterday, I do want to take a brief interlude and talk about Golden Week again. I had mentioned a couple different holidays we've already gone through. It was Showa Day back on the 29th. Yesterday was Constitution Memorial Day. And today, Monday, May 4th, is Greenery Day, which, as the name kind of suggests, is a day to celebrate nature. And I've done all my own research in these things, and I've tried to do my best, but if I don't quite represent anything correctly, or if there are corrections to make, feel free to make them. Greenery Day itself seems to have close ties to Showa Day, which I said was on April 29th. April 29th was Emperor Showa's birthday, and after his passing in 1989, April 29th was actually observed as Greenery Day, and that was specifically decided partially because it had been a holiday for his entire life. It was first celebrated in 1926, so April 29th had been a holiday for many, many years at that point. And since Emperor Showa had such fondness for nature and plants, it seemed like a good day to celebrate nature, and so, hence Greenery Day. And so April 29th was actually originally Greenery Day. And it wasn't until 2007 that April 29th was renamed to Showa Day, which honored Emperor Showa and a lot of his different views on things. And Greenery Day was then moved to May 4th. As far as I've been able to see, Showa Day is kind of that encompassing view of the progress of the nation and social interactions and the love of nature, all kind of just as Emperor Showa had, loved them. And making Greenery Day its own special day gives a bit more focus to plants and nature and that side of things. So it's my understanding that that's really kind of what today symbolizes. And so there's lots of ways people seem to celebrate and observe Greenery Day. Looks like this is a good time to visit parks and gardens and such, and to do outdoor activities like picnicking, planting plants or trees, or taking a hike. Just getting in touch with nature in other ways that you might not necessarily work into your normal day. It's a good day to learn about various environmental issues and just try to foster more awareness for things like that. So it's just kind of nice to have a day to have that mindfulness of things. I mean, it's never wrong to keep those things in mind in your regular life, but it's so easy to just let that become second nature and not your focus anymore. Having days like Greenery Day like this does kind of bring it back to the forefront. So, maybe if you have a chance to get outside and, get some fresh air and see some of nature, maybe try to do that today and just think about how that impacts your life. I'm going to try to keep that in mind as we go through the game today and just see if we can tie Greenery Day into any of our activities at all. So with that little tangent history lesson side story out of the way, let's get into today and see what Monday, May 4th brings us in-game. I'll get us over and we'll be right there. Okay, so this is where we left off yesterday. We had just finished using the software and we had ranked up our academics. We are now average in academics, making us a plain, ordinary, average person overall. You'll love to see it. And that was where this day is going to start wrapping up then. And we'll move on to today. Yep, it's gotten late. I should head back to my room. And just like that, it's Monday, May 4th. We're starting the day out with a call nice and early. I've got a text message. It's Kazushi Miyamoto, a little refresher. What are you up to today? If you're free, let's go somewhere. Let me know if you can make it before the afternoon. I'm not opposed to spending the day with Miyamoto. I hadn't considered it, but I didn't know he was going to be texting us here. I don't know. I'm not going to necessarily decline. He says, I've got till afternoon to let him know, so I'm not going to commit right away. I want to kind of keep our day open a little bit and just see where we go, but nice to have this option ahead of us here. So yeah, we'll back out of the messages for now and keep it in mind. Yep, just like we talked about before, today is Greenery Day, the second day of Golden Week. Let's start again with our messages. Yep, we've already seen the bottom one there, the little refresher from Miyamoto. So let's just start back at the top here. We've got is online, a message from Maya. Finally done with work. You too, Tatsu. Just throw your IRL tasks away. Hop online and play with me. That was what we had done yesterday, and it was a good day. Wild Duck's got a new burger. Have you tried our new burger with unknown ingredients? Plus, now our fries are extra salty. We wait your visit, Wild Ducklings. Secret recipes, mysterious ingredients? Do you have the guts to go Wild Duck? We had enjoyed their mystery burger not that long ago when we were working on our courage. Seemed like it was a good burger. And a message from Officer Kurosawa. I've got something for you today. Consider restitution for you and the others for working diligently every day. Kurosawa. Let's plan to stop by there. I believe he's talking about giving us a bit of a discount today. He runs his sales on Monday. let's also see what everybody else has done, as we kind of like to do. Which is not where this is, but my brain must be telling me to save the game. Let's start there then. But what we wanted to do is... Okay. Most people went the social link route between the time with Miyamoto and the time with Maya. A handful of people went a couple other directions. And as I always say, it's just so fun to see the different ways each day can be approached. And we're still looking good on Tartarus. I mean, everybody hit that same barricade floor and couldn't progress any further, so it stands to reason we're all about the same point. But it's always just nice to see that we're not behind. So yeah, we do have some options already, it looks like. With it being Greenery Day, I don't want to just jump right into anything without at least seeing the outside. I'm talking to a couple people here too, just seeing what everybody else is up to. Looks like Akihiko's got something new going on. I feel like I'm doing all right enough at this point that I can at least do some light exercise. But as long as Mitsuru is watching me, I can't even do a single squat. She hardly even trusts me to go to the restroom without trying to sneak in some training. It's funny because he seems like the kind of guy that would do that. Yeah. And, you know, she is watching out for everybody. She's kind of the overseer of the group. She's the one who does the navigating in Tartarus, so she is kind of that responsible one that does want to make sure everybody is safe and does what they need to do. Anytime she's not available, we can't even go to Tartarus, so she's still watching out for us whether we're there or not. Let's see what's on TV today. Hi, I'm Trish with today's installment of Who's Who. Today's subject is a 20-year-old girl with bright blonde hair. They say her sister used to be a famous idol. I wonder what it's like to have a relative like that. Next is news. Pain, pain, go away. All right. Nothing huge there. Nice to see it, though. Again, it makes that world feel like a world. We've got lots of people out and about today, enjoying their day off. Hopefully enjoying their day off. For the longest time, I've been starting down at Port Island Station, so let's kind of go the other way today. Nice. Yeah, lots of people around again. So different comparing it to the day and the evening. Not really seen anybody we haven't talked to or encountered yet. We're here pretty regularly, though, so that makes sense. Get some light cardio in as we do these jogs up and down the staircases, if nothing else. We can head across the street, too, and check out the station. Not exactly nature, but we're outside under the sky right now. Looks like construction's still going as it's been here. But not a whole lot else to see. Let's keep the tour going. I'm always kind of drawn to the Naganaki Shrine here. It's just so peaceful up there. You know, everything else feels like a city, and now we're out of that bustle of everybody around, and we're just around nature again, which is perfect on Greenery Day, I think. I'd kind of stop here on Showa Day with the same logic of appreciating nature. If you're coming over to our sacred tree back here and just appreciating it. Just like we thought on Monday, think of, all the things this tree has seen around it as it's grown, how much this area has grown around it. And at the same time, I guess, as much growth as there's been, how much tradition and things have stayed the same in this nice, traditional-looking shrine. This seems like a very high-tech, modernized city all around it, but then there's still these slices of history, essentially, and tradition that you do kind of need to have around. I think it's those ties to the past that keep everything grounded, and you can kind of make those deeper connections to what came before and see how that leads into what comes after. Maybe I'm overanalyzing it. I tend to do that, but maybe I'm not. Nice little break here. Nice to see nature and think about nature. Go here to Polonia Mall. We've got some people to visit and say hi to. We'll do everything in the other order from usual today, just to keep it unique. Escapade's only open in the evening. Chagall Coffee. We've worked there a couple times. We've been customers there a couple times. All good times. We got that text from Officer Kurosawa, though, so let's first stop in and say hi to him. He still wants to do all he can to help us out, despite not knowing what we're doing. And he's having his sale today.
What'll it be? Prices are a bit lower today. Take a look if you have the chance.
I don't think he's got anything new for us.
What'll it be?
Which is actually kind of okay, since I don't have a lot of money left to spend either.
What'll it be? Take as long as you need. What'll it be?
And we've all got a guard band on. Yep, I think we're all good on equipment here.
Take as long as you need.
Yep.
What do you got?
Nothing worth selling here, so
What'd you bring?
let's double check. I was thinking about selling that, but that can be equipped by anybody, so there could be a chance at some point where I'd need to swap out some armor. It might not hurt to have something else on hand. And if it gets to that point where it's no longer needed, then I could be sure to sell it. But I'd rather not sell something I might have a use for later. So for now,
All done here?
I think we're done. We'll take our 4,991 yen with us and
Come back soon.
hope to grow it into something a little bit more later. We've got Igor and Elizabeth back here in the Velvet Room. And it's been fun to keep them part of our playthrough every day too.
Marvelous.
And we've developed a little bit more of a social link, so Elizabeth here is going to point that out. It's as if your presence emanates a far brighter radiance than before. Perhaps all your hard work is starting to show. Here, it may not be much, but this is my gift to you. Please accept it. A Twilight Fragment.
I'm looking forward to it.
I still cannot foresee the limits of your potential. I look forward to witnessing you grow even further.
How may I assist you?
Well, Igor, Elizabeth, as it's been, I just wanted to stop in and say hi. I hope your week is starting off well. Doesn't look like a lot of greenery or nature in here, but hopefully you can enjoy Greenery Day the same way we are. And I guess just keep doing what you're doing, and I'll see you when I see you.
We look forward to your next visit.
I've been visiting them regularly, and I'm sure I'll be back sooner than later because I do want to kind of pick up a couple more Persona to just have on hand for those ones we'd fused into a new Persona the other day. I guess on that note, we've only got 3 with us right now: Valkyrie, Chimera, and Onmoraki. We've still got 3 spaces. It's always good to have those, not empty, so we've got just that much more utility from the various Personas. But we haven't been to Tartarus in a while, so there's been fewer chances to get new Personas. Stopped into the pharmacy the other day and picked up some stuff on sale. Looks like stuff's still going good here. The head of the pharmacy here, he's still talking about the best medicine is preventative measures. It still looks like nothing new to buy here.
Done already?
So yeah, it was a quick visit. Wanted to say hi. Hope you're having a good Greenery Day and a good Golden Week. His store looked busy too, so I don't want to hang around there since we're not buying anything. Let's see what's available at Game Parade today too. There's High School of Youth to work on our charm, and Punch Boxer to work on the equipped Persona's strength. Couple good options. And I just realized I haven't been too focused on the stores that I haven't been watching the people, but we actually got Yukari out here today. Let's see how she's enjoying Greenery Day. Oh hey, what are you doing here by yourself? Well, I'm by myself too. Hanging out with friends is nice and all, but it's important to get some alone time too. Yep, I've never minded alone time myself. It's not to say social time could be bad either, but if I'm given the choice, it's easier for me to usually take that alone side of things. Looks like a lot of people enjoying this outdoor cafe again today. Looks like a beautiful day for it. Yeah, we're seeing more and more signs of people not doing so good. Not what you want to see. There's that reporter we talked to the other day. Movie theater was too busy to go to yesterday. Not today, though. We've got The Way of the Godson. That would work on our courage. Not what I'm looking for today, but I always like to see which movies are playing. And here's another familiar face. We've got Junpei hanging out here today. I came to catch a movie with my bud, but he said he couldn't make it. So that's today down the drain. We're gonna try again tomorrow. I always have the worst luck on my days off. He has kind of seemed like it's been rough for him. He's, wanted to make plans, and they've fallen through. He couldn't go to the movie here. Didn't have any girls to hang out with like he was really hoping for the break. I'm sure things will turn around for him sooner than later. I hope for him anyway. But one of the best things you can be able to do is to make your own fun, so it's nice to rely on other people, but it's, I guess it's hard to really put words to, but I like the idea of being able to sustain myself and not have to make other people entertain me, I guess, if that makes any sense. That's not to say, interacting with others is bad. It can be a lot of fun. But I don't want to end up ever being that person that can't have fun if I'm not doing it with someone else. And, I've never had that problem so far, and knock on wood, it stays that way. And there are people that do thrive much more around other people, and I get that as an outside observer. It hasn't really been my forte before, but I definitely acknowledge that is a common thing too. So I'm not trying to talk in a vacuum here. And we've got the unofficial mascot of our playthrough at this point. We've got the weak cat here. Mew. Yes, always good to see the weak cat. Still in its element with its people in the back alleys here. We've got this other cat hanging out on the far left side of the screen. It runs if we get too close, but I don't want to chase it off. I like to think that in a weak cat. I like to think they're friends as well. And, this isn't exactly nature or greenery to be thinking about since we're in a back alley right now, but it actually did kind of get that environmental mindset going in my head again, seeing the various, bits of trash and things around that, there's more than just the plant side of Greenery Day. There is that overall environmental consciousness and responsibility side of things. And it doesn't give me a whole lot to actually interact with in-game, but I just wanted to keep that little bit of mindset going since it's going to be Greenery Day all day today. One thing I did want to stop back by the station strip mall here. I couldn't remember if the old elderly couple was doing anything today. Looks like they might be. Oh, it's Monday. Yep. I was going to say, could we spend any time with them? But Monday is the one day of the week that they are closed. So no, we cannot spend time with the elderly couple today. So let's head back to the dorm so we're not standing on a street corner and, planning our day this time. I tend to just find random places to lean up against walls to think about that, but let's get out of everybody's way, especially since they talk about how busy Golden Week is. You don't need somebody else just crowding the space for no good reason. So there were a couple options of things to do today. I was going to pull up our stats here so we can look at our social stats again and just be mindful of those. We've got exams coming, so, continuing to look at academics might be the way I go. I haven't decided yet. Everything else is ranked 2, but charm, so perhaps charm is another good option. Most people with their day spent time with social links, so I'm kind of inclined to follow suit in that regard. And, playing another day of games with Maya is tempting. It feels like the kind of thing a gamer would do. I've got a holiday, I've got the time off, I've got a friend online. That could be good, but at the same time, Miyamoto did reach out to me, and we haven't done anything outside of school with him before. So I'm a little torn. There are going to be fewer chances to interact with Maya just by virtue of the fact that we need to have an entire day to devote to online gaming, which, as a busy high schooler, those days are few and far between. But at the same time, we did that yesterday. And if this were the real world and if this were my schedule, I would probably gravitate a lot more to playing a game online than I would be going outside and doing something that I didn't know where we're going. But from something that keeps the playthrough interesting, hopefully, and entertaining, I am kind of considering this invite from Miyamoto. I'm not sure what he wants to do, but this is also, a holiday. I'm not sure what we're doing, so we're going to kind of take it as it comes. One of the things that, my research on Greenery Day talked about was also trying to spend time with other people. Not that spending time online with Maya isn't the exact same, because, like I've said before, she is a real person behind that avatar, and interacting with her is interacting with a real person. So I'm not trying to discount her in any way in that sense. I guess I'm just trying to convince myself of which direction we should go here. And I never like spending too long talking these things out. I mean, I want to give my thoughts so that it's not just me saying, I'm going to do this today, here we go. I want to talk it out so you guys see, where the wheels are turning in my head. I don't want to spend all this time, I'm doing this for this reason and that for that reason. And spending 5 minutes talking about a 2-second decision. I want to respect you guys' time a little more than that. So, as I say that, let's make a choice. I think Miyamoto. We gamed with Maya yesterday, and it was fun, but that was yesterday. Miyamoto took the time to reach out to us today. I think let's do it. Let's spend some time with him. He was the Chariot social link, and I believe we had Chimera in there for that. We sure do. He obviously took the time to reach out to us specifically. Not that Maya didn't. She's also on here on the list, but I don't know. She chose to log into an online game. I like to think that she's doing other things in the game, even if we're not there. When I play online games, I don't wait for, a certain person to do certain things. Well, for certain things, I guess I do, but I can fill my time with other things in a game. I don't know what Miyamoto here is asking us to do, but he called us up this morning about that, so let's go somewhere. We've got Chimera with us. Let's meet with Miyamoto.
By the way,
Yes, it looks like we came to Wakatsu again. Looks like we both got a good meal here. Wouldn't it be funny if all my knee problems turned out to be growing pains? That sounds pretty ideal to me, yeah. But honestly, I don't want to get any bigger than I am right now. It's not like I'm going to go into pro wrestling. Oh, you can have my rice if you want. Here, take it. And I guess to catch anybody else up that, hasn't quite, been through the whole series yet, Miyamoto is the captain of the track team. I'm also a member of the track team. I joined recently. And after a couple practices, he's been having some trouble with one of his legs, really bothering him, to the point that where he was, on the ground in pain after one of them. So, that's the talk about hoping, that all these leg issues are, nothing to actually be concerned about. So, we're keeping our fingers crossed there, and I like that he's got that optimism too. For anybody that was wondering, that was what that was all about. He's trying to give us his rice here. I see, trying to cut down on carbs. And we've got our usual couple options. I'm trying to weigh the different choices out in the head. Obviously, this seems like an athletic training thing. I don't think this is just a general preference sort of thing, since he says he's trying to cut down on carbs. And I'm no scientist, but I'm pretty sure carbs are bread, and bread is carbs, however you want to look at that. He doesn't seem to be feeling sick, or if he is, he's hiding it well from me. So, in my head, it stands out as an athlete trying to train and be properly productive there. So I'm going to ask him, hey, are you on a diet?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I gotta watch what I eat these days so I can build muscle mass. Exactly. It's amazing how far, nutritional science has come with everything, and just the lengths that athletes go to take every possible little step to manage their athletic performance. It's so deep and it's involved. It always kind of strikes me as it's perpetual training. This isn't just, you got to practice and then you're done. It's the entirety of their being. And this choice here really seems to encapsulate that. He's not running on the track right now, but he's still working on every little thing he can do to get better than he was the day before. It comes down to, what he eats, when he eats, how much he eats, what that food is composed of. It's that really well-rounded and deep dedication. I'll do whatever it takes to win the regionals. Remember, it's all about the mindset, Shima. And that's another huge side of things. There are the physical things you can do, but you've got to have the right mental attitude about it too. You can't just say, it's my day off. It's a cheat day. I can have whatever I want. That's that mental dedication that he's adhering to. He's going to stay committed all the way through. That's something to be respected, I think. Miyamoto has shown me his resolve. I feel like we became a lot closer today. And it's so cool that something as innocent as, getting a meal together and talk about, hey, do you want my rice? Turning into to talk about how training is going and his goals for this big regional race. Just all the little things that can, or all the big things, I guess, that can stem from what seems like a small conversation. Ah, damn it. I really do want some rice. Just having it right in front of me is torture. No, I gotta snap out of it. This is perfect mental training. Go ahead and eat it, Shima. Come on, just shovel it down. I like that thought of that little bit of desperation. It's like, man, I really want this. I want it. I know I shouldn't, but I want it. Come on, man, get it out of my sight. I don't want to see it. If I don't see it anymore, then I know I can't have it. After finishing the meal under Miyamoto's watch, I headed back to the dorm. And just like I've said on other of these daily outings, it's fun to think about what else we got up to. Maybe he and I, maybe we did take a walk over to the shrine or talk about Greenery Day. We took some sort of arduous hike around town and, put in a lot of steps, covered some miles or whatever. So it was more than just going out and getting some food. That might have been like the highlight moment that was showcased here, but it's fun to think that there was a whole day in and of around that we just got to work together and enjoy each other as friends and do what high school guys do. And after that, headed back to the dorm. Wow, there's nobody to greet us today. I can't remember the last time there's been nobody down here in the lobby. I also like that. I mean, I've said it before. This means everybody's going about their days and their evenings and just going about their life in the way that they want to. They're not just waiting around for me to come back and say, oh, Tom's here. Let's say hi to Tom. They could be upstairs reading a book or having dinner or out shopping at the mall. And that makes total, perfect, logical sense for them. I think I've said it every single stream, but the game does so much without telling me it's doing anything. The idea of not having anybody here, just that absence of people, speaks so many volumes and adds stories in my head of what are they up to? Where are they? Just, adding that extra bit of narrative, and as I take this as a daily playthrough. So I gravitated to the TV. Let's see what's on. The news is on right now. And now the news is off. So yeah, I think we had a good day out around town. It felt like kind of a quicker daytime portion of things since all we got to see was the meal with Miyamoto. But we did a bit of our own walking around town ahead of that, so we saw a few sights. A lot of the regular sights, but that's kind of part of the fun of this too. Washed up here and still thinking, okay, I've still got some time for my day. What should I do from here? Let's head up to the room and think about that. Aha! So here's where everybody's been.
Oh, right.
If you're looking for Mitsuru, she's in the command room, training her detection skills. But she says you can still let her know if you want to head to Tartarus tonight. That's true, we could do that. Junpei, every time he's got one of those meals, it looks good. Hey, do you actually think about the enemy's next move and stuff during battle? I do. I kind of wish there was more of a middle ground here. I mean, you've got to think about what the enemy is capable of doing, just from a strategic standpoint. This game rewards that and punishes that, so if you make the right choice, you get those extra attacks. If you don't, then you're the one that's getting attacked extra. So I do think about it, but saying obviously almost kind of sounds like that. Well, obviously, Junpei, what? Don't you think about that? And I'm sure he does. But, as the leader, I do, need to take that higher level of accountability and responsibility. So I do obviously think about that, but I don't want that to come across in a condescending way to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably should have guessed, huh? It's important to analyze the situation and quickly think of a strategy during battle.
That's true.
I agree. Watching the enemy's every move and thinking 2 steps ahead of them would be ideal. That way, our victory would be assured. We're counting on you, Shima. I like that level of trust, and I want to live up to that level of trust. I mean, it is my responsibility as the leader to think of these things. And, if I'm going to call myself the leader or be called the leader, I have to act like it. So, on that dramatic sounding, anime protagonist moment, let's do something simple like check our mail. We've got a note from Games Parade again. come play our popular crane game and try to win a prize. Then stick around and hop into one of our many video games. There's great fun to be had, whether you're alone or with friends. We can't wait to see you. Chagall Coffee or Cafe is looking for workers. I'd actually kind of commented thinking about that yesterday as we were spending through all of our wallet. I don't want to, hard commit to that, but that is kind of tempting looking at our balances here. Chagall is looking for someone to work at the cafe today. Students may apply, no experience required. This is a paid position, and perks include free pheromone coffee. We look forward to meeting you. And yes, getting paid a wage to be there is nice, and the free coffee is also nice because that improves our charm and our courage. So we are making a little bit of progress and getting paid for it, which does sound kind of nice. Maybe not the most fun thing to do on part of a vacation time off, but it's something to consider anyway. And Mitsuru here. For your information, I'll be in the command room today. If you want to go to Tartarus, come and let me know. I'll be able to join you as well. Now we talked to everybody else. Let's head up and say hi to Mitsuru. Last time we did, she didn't have anything new to tell us, but can't just assume that's going to be the case every time. I could, but it would make me a very social person. And we're lucky. She does have something new to say. Not that it'd have been a problem to come visit her if she didn't, but... is something the matter? Just wanted to chat.
Yes? What is it?
Were you looking for me? I'm trading my persona's ability to detect enemies. I can't say for certain that a large enemy like the one from last month won't attack again. There's no excuse for being unprepared. We can't afford to let ourselves get caught off guard. It really seems like there's been a lot of talk today about being prepared for things and taking the time to get ready and to understand the enemy. And this game's really good about signposting stuff like that, so I do want to kind of keep that thought going in my head of, okay, we do need to be aware of these things, and I need to be that good leader. I need to have the right items on hand, the right equipment on hand, or the right personas at my disposal, to know my enemies, to trust my allies. There's a lot of things to keep track of, and a lot of reward to be had for doing it right, and a lot of challenges to face by doing it wrong. I'm running for the door here, not quite sure where I'm even going, but we forgot to check. You guys all probably remember, but I forgot to check on where everyone else spent their evening. So let's take a look. 100% on daily life. Or as close to it as possible, since it does show that some people went to Tartarus, but it was so little that it rounds to 0, basically. So I don't see us going to Tartarus either for that same reason. And at this point, you'll probably start to recognize a lot of these are some of the same choices we see most nights. But that's kind of the virtue of living in this town in this area. There are new things to do here and there, but after a while, you have kind of seen a lot of the main sites. And that doesn't diminish their value. I mean, once you've gone to Wakatsu Kitchen a few times, you start to know what the food is like, and it's that place you go to enjoy the ambience and the atmosphere and the food. Or, going to Chagall Cafe. Any of those choices. And what should we do with our time? Let's head out and think about it. I am kind of thinking about Chagall Coffee. It was nice, I have said before, about working those part-time shifts in the evening, in that there's a lot to be said for working to earn your own way in things. It's nice to... it's nice to be given money, but to actually, by virtue of your own efforts, earn something, it puts the value of that money in a different perspective. I think I said before, if I work 3 hours at the cafe here and make 3,000 yen, the next time I go to spend 3,000 yen, I can more equate that to how I acquired it and the work I put in to get it. And it kind of makes those buying decisions change that little bit too. Is buying this piece of software I'm looking at, is that worth 3 hours of working hard at the cafe? Is there something else that I would appreciate more by having worked for it? Maybe, maybe not. There's no way to know until you're actually facing that decision, but it just keeps that different level of responsibility in your head. Oh yeah, I'm leaning towards the cafe here. I hadn't really hard committed to anything that we were going to do for our next social skill. This isn't going to really help our academics at all, but there's nothing that says I need to just tunnel in on one either. I need to make progress across the board, so any progress in any direction is going to be good for us. I could pick something else up for the shared computer, but that's going to cost me money. I could study in the room. We haven't done that before. And, that would be a good use of time. Exams are coming. I've got the time to study. Wild Duck Burger's going to cost us money. Okatsu Kitchen's going to cost us money. Playing at the arcade's going to cost almost all of our money. And again, and I keep saying, this keeps going back to money, but at the same time, money is just another resource that should be maintained, but it's also there to be spent. I don't want to ignore choices I could make just so I can have a hoard of money at the end of the day. It's that fine line balancing act of spending the resources without burning through the resources and not having them later when you really need them. And I've said it before too, it's always fun to just get to this point and stare at the screen and see every one of these choices was made and every one of them made sense to the player and was a valid choice to be made. I could make a case for any one of these on the screen right now and I could make a case for it. It wouldn't be a wrong choice. But I can only make one choice, so I have to make my choice. And it is Greenery Day. I don't want to just let that go away as we're standing near some, maybe real, maybe artificial plants here. There's not really a whole lot of those choices I could think that would actually tie it into Greenery Day any closer, so, other than just thinking of it ourselves and being mindful of nature and, environmental things, and trying to just, keep it in your brain a little bit. That's what I'm trying to do here, too. It is a holiday for a reason. It wasn't just a day off from school. And I just want to, appreciate it that way. Catch up our save point here. It'll make it a lot easier to load the game next time if this is indeed where the day ends. It's felt like a much quicker day so far. But we have started to see a lot of the same sites too. It's going to kind of happen where I don't need to talk at length about every little thing I've talked about every stream. I could do it, but I'm not sure you as the audience are probably going to appreciate it if I do that. So I'll bring stuff up as I feel it's relevant, of course, but I won't try to bore you with any of that, hopefully. I think I want to spend some time working at Chagall Cafe. I'll just, catch us up here too, since everybody knows, what I can do here and why I'm choosing this, working as a part-timer. The starting of the week here, Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I can work here. So I'll get a free cup of coffee as well as some money. So 2,500 yen. When we've only got, just south of 5,000 yen, this is going to be a huge infusion to our wallet here. Yes, Charm and Courage. We're already ranked 2 in Courage. I think these ranks go up to 5 or 6, so we've still got a lot of progress to make. It is kind of nice to have that chance to work on our Charm a little bit too, because that is the one that's behind the other 2 right now. And working a little bit of progress on 2 different social skills is nice, plus getting some money for it. And, it might not be the most fun way for a high school guy to spend his time off on a day off. But I do like to kind of think that our character here has stepped up, and if anything, I feel like it kind of relates to what we were talking about back at the dorm and that preparation and responsibility. This kind of feels akin to me as Mitsuru working on her enemy detection skills. This is me going out and working on bettering myself while also getting a little bit of yen so that I can make sure that the team is properly stocked with medicine or outfitted with gear. This is my responsibility as the group leader, just like it is Mitsuru to watch over us as the navigator. I've got these responsibilities, and these are my way to kind of step up and own those myself. That's part of my decision-making process here, if that makes any sense. I hope it does. I think it does. We're going to get to work. We're going to work part-time, cheerfully serving coffee to raise our charm and our courage. I sweated it out while working part-time as a waiter. Nice. A customer called me over and praised my service. I kind of think the last time we were here, this same situation happened. A drunken businessman tried to pick a fight with me, but I did my best to deal with it. I've mentioned before, I've worked retail before, and thankfully I have never had to experience that side of retail. You get all sorts of customers, but I didn't have to deal with anybody trying to pick drunken fights with me, thankfully. Not to say it couldn't happen one of these days, but it hasn't happened yet, thankfully. Here's your paycheck for today. Try to use it wisely. After dealing with difficult customers, I feel like my charm and courage have increased. A little bit of progress in charm there. A little bit of courage. Still, neither one is enough to push us over those thresholds. I'm going to keep saying it every time I see it, though. For as long as we were, a plain timid slacker, to see that we've moved up to a plain, ordinary, average guy, it feels good. We're making that progress. We're growing. And it's not even been a month yet. After working there, it's getting late. I should head back to the dorm. Oh. All right, then. So that is where Monday the 4th ended already. Let's get back to the desk in the basement and talk about it a little bit. Okay. So here we are again. That was the end of Monday, May 4th. This might be one of the quicker days we've had in a while. And as I've said, that's going to happen as the series goes on. Just like in real life, there are going to be busy days and there are going to be less busy days. And it doesn't feel like we just, did nothing for our day either. It's kind of nice to look back and kind of put it all in perspective. That's why I started doing these post-game talks that we do. It kind of gives me a good chance to unwind from the day and try to put it into a broader frame of everything. I mean, yeah, we did just see it, but having seen the whole picture lets us appreciate different, spots in the picture that we hadn't fully understood earlier on, I guess. So we started out the day nice and early. We got that text message from Miyamoto there, wanting us to, come and hang out with him for the day. I didn't initially take him up on the offer right away because I wanted to see what else was out there. Nothing against him. I just wanted to keep my options open. Talked about it being Greenery Day today, so I wanted to be aware of that. There aren't as many options in game to delve deeply into the holiday side of that. I mean, it's a game and it's not a focus of the character right now, but as the player, as the viewer, I wanted to just interject that because we're doing the real playthrough here, and it is actually Greenery Day today. So I tried to, like we did back on Showa Day, we headed off to the temple and enjoyed the sacred tree, and just being away from the city and everything. I remember going into the back alleys behind the one station and thinking about environmental sustainability ideas. So it might not have been the forefront of my day the entire day, but I was aware of it in various capacities throughout the session, which was just what I was hoping I would do. But yeah, we did our usual, wander around town a little bit, talk to our regular people. Igor, Elizabeth, Officer Kurosawa, the pharmacy. People we don't need to see necessarily, but people that I want to see because they're part of our playthrough. They're not social links, but they still help us out. And it's easy to almost forget they're there if you only go there when you need them for something. Same deals, talking to the weak cat behind in those station outskirts. It's nice to add that extra meaning to characters that you can give that meaning to, I guess. There's nothing that says we need to go do any of these things, but because we have the chance to, it's fun to go and do that. So we made our usual rounds and tried to decide how to spend our day. I thought about spending some time with Maya, because we have limited chances to interact with Maya. It takes an entire, day off from school to have time to do anything online gaming. But I wanted to kind of break it up a little bit. We spent the game doing games yesterday. Yesterday, we spent our time with Maya playing online games. So, yeah, I wouldn't have necessarily been wrong doing that again today. I just wanted to break it up a little bit. And maybe part of that is tying some of that to my own real-life thoughts of things. I can think of a lot of, breaks I've had from school or work where I have sunk into a new game and I've enjoyed it. I never regret those choices, but after the fact, there is that little bit of me that wonders where time went. It's like, there's no way it's already been an entire day. I couldn't have been doing this much more than, a half hour, an hour. There's no way 3 hours have already passed. So it can be really easy to get absorbed in games, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that as long as you're keeping up with your other responsibilities. It can be easier said than done. So, there was definitely a case to play the online game today, and I had considered it. But I figured that since Miyamoto reached out to us specifically and sounded like he had something he wanted to do, it seemed like kind of a once in a lifetime chance, but a less available chance. We don't have a lot of days off from school where I can just hang out with, a guy from the track team outside of track practice. So it was kind of fun to take him up on that offer and, get a meal with him, plus whatever else we got up to. And we got to talk a bit more about his views on, on training, both the physical side, the mental side, and just how much it consumes every aspect of his life. It's not just when he's at the track training, it's everything for him. It's what he eats, it's where he goes, it's what he does. And it looked hard too. I mean, he told us we could have his rice, but we could all really tell he wanted that rice. I mean, he basically said it himself. So he's working hard, even when it doesn't necessarily seem like he's working hard. It was just nice to see that side of him and make that slightly deeper connection to him for it. So after that, we went our separate ways. He went on with wherever his day took him, back to his family or wherever. We headed back to the dorm. Kind of came in and surprised to not see anybody waiting in the lobby like we normally see. Saw a couple, or three of them upstairs talking about understanding the enemies and the role of the leadership, and kind of making sure that me as the leader, that I am properly leading, that I am aware of what the enemies are capable of, that I'm aware of what my allies are capable of. By properly using resources, we all benefit. By improperly using them or misallocating them, it just sets us up for unnecessary challenges. And it's up to me as the leader to step up to that role and do it right. And I want to do that. So it was kind of nice to hear them talking about that and almost feeling me out on this. It's like, hey, you're aware of this, right? We're trusting you as the leader, and this is what a leader's supposed to do. You know that, right? And they're totally right to question that and to wonder that. We haven't really done a whole lot together. I've tried to prove myself, but I've got a lot of responsibilities there, and they're right to make sure that I'm aware of that. And we went up and talked to Mitsuru up in the command room, and she was kind of talking about the same thing. She was up there working on her persona detection abilities to help keep tabs on where the shadows are for us. Talked about, the shadow that attacked the dorm 3 weeks or so ago now, and how bad that was, and how she doesn't want to let that happen again. And so she's going to try to better herself to not let that happen again. She's going to step up and take responsibility for what she can do. And I kind of, wanted to, the game made it quite clear they wanted me to keep that in mind, but I wanted to consciously keep that in mind as well as I thought about what to do with the rest of the evening. So that's what kind of took me over to the mall. I talked yesterday about, considering working at Chagall Cafe because we were running a little low on money, which was still very much true today. But it was kind of fun to frame it in that new context with different information. I mean, this really did feel like something I could do that would benefit the team. This gives me the resources to buy more medicine or to keep our gear up to date. It's not just me working for some pocket change to spend at the arcade later, even if some of it might go that way. But it just is my chance to step up and do what I can, just like Mitsuru is. She's working hard to take care of the rest of the group, and I need to do that too. I mean, sure, it might have been more fun to do something, something else, to go to karaoke or to get a meal or to play at the arcade again tonight. It probably was, going to work at the cafe might have been one of the last things, the character would want to do with his day off like this. But this was that chance to actually do more than just talk about being responsible. This was that chance to actually show it. So I was able to go and put in a couple hours of work at the busy cafe, and to help out that one customer and to overcome the challenge of dealing with the more unruly customer, and to make it through all that, and to get paid a good wage for that work, and to work on my charm and my courage as a result. I did better myself, and yeah, it was hard work. It wasn't the fun relaxation time that a vacation could be. But I feel good making the choice of doing what I can for the team because they trusted me. I want to live up to that trust. And this just felt like a good way to put my money where my mouth is and show that commitment rather than just saying, oh yeah, trust me, it'll be fine. Hopefully they can see that side of things too and know that I really am trying to be a good leader. I guess, we'll see as time goes forward if I can actually live up to that in the moment too. But like they said, it comes down to preparation. These resources will help us prepare. So I'm doing all I can ahead of time to be ready in the moment. And with that, then I guess we headed back to the dorm. That was, the end of a busy work shift. A nice long day around town. I guess if nothing else for Greenery Day, we got out and we saw the various sites. We walked around a bit. Kind of that hiking idea. And we thought about plants and greenery and the environment as well. I want to keep bringing it up again here to say our day ended thinking about that as well and appreciating why we had the day off. Golden Week continues tomorrow. I'll have some new information on what tomorrow's information is all about. But that is where Monday the 4th ended up. We climbed into bed I'm thinking that we had a good day. We were probably ready to get some sleep and see what sort of fun activities we can get up to tomorrow. That brings us to the end of Monday, May 4th. I want to thank you all so much for being here today. My name is Tom Shima. been wonderful having you here. I stream every day at 12:30 Eastern Time, so if you ever want to watch these playthroughs live, you can do that here. I also upload every playthrough to YouTube, so if you want to catch up on the day's playthrough or any past episode, those are all available there. I hope Monday, May 4th is a fantastic day for you. It's Greenery Day today, so try to be mindful about nature and the environment if you have a chance. I hope your week starts off on a good note, it feels productive, and you can work some fun in there as well. So on all those notes, I hope you take care. I thank you for being here, and have a good day. Goodbye. With that, we've reached the end of the day. Please look forward to next time to see where the game goes from here. This journey is being streamed live on my Twitch channel if you'd like to be there in person for the experience. Links and schedule details can be found in the description. I'll keep uploading each day's session to this channel so you can keep watching here. Once again, I'm Tom Shima. Thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you again as I continue the series, Persona a Day. What will tomorrow bring?